will launch his new housing plan on Thursday. Why it's taken so long, I have to say, I just don't understand, but we are where we are. Obviously, we're going to judge the plan by its details, so we'll take a little bit of time when it's published on Thursday to read it. But there have been a very significant number of leaks into the papers and broadcast media over the last few weeks. It seems that there is going to be a lot of whistles and bells around the kind of periphery of the plan. What is not clear yet, however, is what level of direct capital investment by government in the delivery of social, affordable rental and affordable homes will be in this plan. We don't know whether it's going to actually include targets for the delivery of social and affordable homes for next year, the year after that. And one of the things that's concerning me greatly is that we keep hearing that there's a target to reach public and private sector output of 33,000 by 2025. That would mean, on the basis of the leaks, there would only be 4,000 genuinely affordable homes delivered then. That's nowhere near enough to meet the affordable housing crisis to rent or buy now, this year, next year, the year after. We've been calling consistently, and we're now supported, as you know, by the ESRI, the NTMA and a host of other organisations, for a doubling of the direct capital investment in the delivery of social and affordable homes year on year from 2022. That would, in our view, allow for the delivery of at least 20,000 social and affordable homes through new build acquisition, but also crucially through the refurbishment of vacant and derelict stock. Given where we are with COVID, but also given where we are with the climate action legislation, we need to start shifting some of the focus away from new builds, which of course takes more time and has higher carbon emissions, to accessing many of the 90,000 vacant homes that are out there, buying them, refurbishing them and getting them out. And while again I hear that the government is talking about some initiatives, it seems to be private sector led rather than direct investment in local authorities and AHBs doing all of that. Obviously, we need to see more on renters. Rents are continuing to rise and we're still calling for an emergency 3-year ban on rent increases, a refundable tax credit to put a month's rent back in renters' pockets, and real long-term security of tenure. We need more action on homelessness. We've seen over the last 2 months a worrying trend of increasing homeless presentations because the ban on evictions has ended. So therefore we need to know what's the government going to do legislatively to prevent families from becoming homeless, but also to get people out of emergency accommodation more quickly, particularly through a dramatic increase in housing first tenancies. And then lastly, we need a date for the referendum to enshrine the right to housing in the Constitution. Fianna Fáil and the ministers say they're in favour of it. Fine Gael are still against it. We need to stop this kind of merry dance and to know, is this referendum going to happen? Our view is it should happen next year, and this plan should set a date. So I suppose, look, as with all of these things, it's about targets, it's about levels of investment, and it's about delivery. We've had 14 months of bluff and bluster from this minister, and the game is now up, and he needs to put his money where his mouth is and show how he's going to make a serious dent in the housing crisis that he and his party played a part in creating.
Owen, if the major crux of your concern is the proportion of new homes that will be considered or designated as affordable, to borrow a model from COVID, would that not be allowing the perfect to be the enemy of the good, that all housing in a shortage is to be welcome?
Well, first of all, we need public and private sector housing. There's no doubt about that. But the big mistake that Fine Gael made in Rebuilding Ireland is they paid too much attention to what the private sector should or shouldn't do, and they were badly let down by that private sector. Government cannot control private sector output. They can look at various policy instruments to try and encourage it, although the policy instruments that have been used to date have not worked, which is why private sector output is so low. The only thing government can really control is how much money it spends on the direct delivery of social and affordable homes. So I'm strongly of the view that we need on average 35,000 new homes a year, in fact probably upwards towards 40,000 between new builds and refurbishments of vacants and derelicts. But what I want to hear from government in the first instance is, what are they going to do differently to ramp up the delivery of social and affordable homes? The private sector can build all the homes they want in Dublin, but they're telling us they'll cost between 400 and 500,000 euros. What government can do now is double that capital investment. So while the private sector is doing its thing, the public sector can complement that by delivering thousands of homes annually at prices below 230,000 euros or rents below 1,000 euros for affordable renters. And likewise, I'm not hearing any indication from the leaks to date that government is going to increase the targets for social housing beyond what Fine Gael already committed to in the National Development Plan, which is 10,000 units a year. That's not enough. We need much more than that. And year on year, we need to see an increase above that NDP target. So this isn't about anything being perfect. This is about the state accepting its responsibility and doing what Darragh O'Brien has claimed he's going to do, which is reinsert the state as a major investor in social and affordable homes. And if the ESRI is saying double capital investment, direct capital investment to meet that affordable housing need, then government should listen to them if they're not going to listen to the opposition.
Is anything less than that going to fall short to your view? That's the key requirement of any plan as we see it.
It is, and look, obviously we'll have to judge the plan when we see it. My worry is I'm not hearing from the leaks anything that's telling us there's going to be a significant increase, for example, in the Affordable Housing Fund, that fund for local authorities to deliver affordable homes. I'm not hearing anything about a significant increase in the cost rental equity loan for approved housing bodies to deliver affordable rental. The Land Development Agency seems to be in a crisis before it's even got going in terms of its overall output, which led the former chair of the board to resign because he doesn't believe they're going to have the impact that was originally intended. So I suppose for us that's the primary measure of the plan, but also we need to see the other details. My worry is, we're hearing all sorts of initiatives, for example, a windfall tax on rezoned land. That would have been fine 10 years ago when lots of land was being rezoned. But in fact, outside of Dublin City, most local authorities either won't be rezoning land in this county development plan, or as we know from Meath, from Kildare, from Dunleary, Rathdown and from Wexford, they'll be dezoning land. So such a proposal is a little bit like Darragh O'Brien's linking rents to inflation. It's a little bit too little too late. So again, we have to judge the detail of it, but the core will be what level of direct investment, what is the output, and what are the targets for social and affordable next year.